Today I am going to give you a quick start video on how to play the ocarina. The ocarina that I'm demonstrating on today is an ocarina in the key of C, and it is a 12-hole ocarina. That's obviously important because if you have an instrument that doesn't meet those specs, this video is not going to work. So make sure that you have an ocarina in the key of C and it is a 12-hole ocarina. Now, while you're playing this with me, if it sounds incorrect, I get this question all the time. If your instrument does not sound correct, please watch this video right here where I help diagnose the problem. It could, of course, be user error, which is so common when you're starting a new instrument, so I'll walk you through that. But it also might be a problem with your actual instrument. So we talk through that in that video, so just refer back to that one if for some reason in this video your instrument's not sounding like it's supposed to. If you are looking for a new instrument, head over to stlocarina.com. I love their instruments, and if you use my code Gina, you'll get 10% off of your entire purchase. So let's get started. By the way, I did want to mention this is the Zelda Ocarina from STL, so if you're interested in this one, you can find this one on their website. So the first thing I will mention is I have a series of how to play the ocarina here on YouTube, and it's right here. I would highly suggest watching this. I know today you're just like, let's get started. I just want to learn really quickly. If you're really serious and you want to learn more, check out this series because it has a lot more. And I also have another video that has song tutorials, so that might be something you're interested in as well. So the first thing we're going to do when learning the ocarina is actually not play it at all. And the reason for that is because we have to develop a good sound. We have to actually be able to breathe correctly because it is a wind instrument. So I go through this more in this video right here, but I'm going to just give you the very basics of that. A lot of people are breathing kind of incorrectly, which is kind of crazy, right? We have to breathe to stay alive, but we're taking shallow breaths. So instead of, a lot of times people think, oh, I'm breathing, I'm gonna take a deep breath, and their shoulders go up. That's actually incorrect. What you should see happen is your stomach expands. So think about breathing air into your stomach. So take a deep breath with me. We're going to breathe in for 5 counts. And then breathe out for 5 counts. And I want you to try to do that with me. Okay, ready? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Okay, so that is the first thing. The next thing is to produce a good sound on the instrument is we don't want to blow too much air. Okay, if you do too much air, it might sound squeaky. One thing I do want to mention is where do we put air into this instrument? That is on this part right here. So you'll see on this corner, it's rounded. On this corner, it's rounded. This corner, up here, there is actually a hole there, and that's where we blow into. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a random note, don't worry about this. With the correct amount of air, it should sound something like this. And with too much air, it's gonna sound kind of squeaky. So that is not what we're trying to do. Ultimately, the thing is sometimes you get frustrated and you think, oh, well, maybe if I just put more air in it, it'll fix the problem. That's not the case. So we just want a nice, steady stream of air. In order to start the sound on the instrument, we are just going to go like this. Okay, breathe out with me and try it together. And you want to keep that air steady. And that's going to create a steady sound on the instrument. If you want to be a little bit more fancy, you can do what is called articulation, and that's essentially giving you a more abrupt start to the sound. So you would go 2, okay? And you do that with your tongue. You just say that, 2, and you do that with blowing air. So you go, 2. It should sound like that. One more time. 2. Let me show you what that's going to sound like. I call this the owl without articulation. Kind of just sounds like whoo. You can hear that the air kind of goes hua, okay? Now with articulation, it's going to have a very definite start to the note. So you can do that. You don't have to do that, but I would recommend doing that at some point. Now let's just concentrate on getting a good sound on the instrument. So don't put any fingers on any of the holes. What we're going to do, again, is put all what we just learned together. So we're going to breathe in for 5, and then we're going to blow air into the instrument. I am going to articulate. You don't have to. I'm going to go 2, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so let's breathe in together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, let's do that again. Make sure that air is nice and steady, okay? Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's learn how to hold this and play the first 5 notes. Okay, so this is the back of the instrument. Obviously, less holes back here. If you notice, there are 2 holes a lot of times on ocarinas, not always, but up here, those do not affect the sound. What that is for is if you have a neck strap. I would highly, highly recommend having that on, especially while you're learning, because it's very easy when you're not used to holding one of these instruments to drop it. And depending on what it's made out of, it could break. If it's made out of ceramic or porcelain or something like that, if it's not plastic, it could break. It could still break with plastic too, so you want to be very careful with that. Okay, so this is again the back, and the way that we're going to hold it is our left hand is going to come under the instrument like this, okay? So our left thumb is going to go here, and the rest of the hand is going to go to the front. I'll show you how to hold that exactly in just a second. So then our right hand is doing the opposite. Instead of going under like this, it's going over like this. So the right thumb is going to that hole right there, and then draping our hand over there. So the back of it is kind of crisscross, right? So under with left hand, over for right hand, and your thumbs go and cover those holes. Make sure to cover the holes completely. That is very important. The notes are not going to come out correctly. They're going to sound a little wonky if those are not covered completely. So if you're hearing something weird, make sure that everything's covered. Okay, so now we are going to learn where the rest of our fingers go, okay? So our left hand, I will mention, there are 2 little holes that you're going to see that aren't in line with these other ones. So there's these 4 big ones here and a little one here. Don't worry about that for this video. Same on this hand. There's 4 bigger holes here and a little one here. Don't worry about that. You don't want to cover it, just leave those open. Okay, so our thumbs are here. So under with left hand, over for right hand. So our pointer finger on our left hand is going to that first hole. Our middle finger goes to that second hole. Remember, leave this little one uncovered. Our ring finger to that third, and finally our pinky to the 4th, okay? So that is going to be what is called a G. So let's try that together. So breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. So our next note is going to be an F. We're just going to put down 1 finger, which is our pointer finger on our right hand. Keep your left hand the exact same. And reminder, our thumbs are down, and these first 4 fingers on our left hand are down as well. And then you're adding this finger on your right hand. So let's breathe in for 5, and then try this note out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Next note is an E. We're going to just put down again 1 finger, which is our middle finger on our right hand. Again, don't cover the little hole that's in the front there, just the one in the back that's a little bit larger. Okay, so breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Now we're going to play a D, putting down our ring finger on our right hand on this hole right here, which is the second to last hole on the instrument. Okay, breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. One last note that we're learning today, and that is a C. So we're going to just put down our pinky on our right hand. So breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's try not having a breath in between the notes and playing them all together. We're going to go super slow, starting with a G. Remember, all you're doing is putting down 1 finger at a time. So we're starting with our G right here. G, F, E, D, C. Okay, so again, this is a G with our thumbs in the back and all 4 of these front holes covered with our left hand, okay? We'll breathe in for 5, and then we're gonna do all these like this. If you do need to breathe in between notes, that's perfectly fine. You do wanna try breathing exercises, which are in that first video that I told you about, and it will help you so that you're able to play more notes and string more notes together. Okay, so let's breathe in for 5 and start with our G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try that again. Breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing job! You just learned your first 5 notes on the ocarina and learned the correct amount of air to use while playing. Great job! Again, if you want to learn more, please check out the playlist, and I walk you through a ton of different things, from playing the rest of the notes on the ocarina to playing different songs, how to use vibrato, and a lot of fun things. So check that out. Thank you so much to STL Ocarina for making this series possible. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future ocarina videos. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok, and I want to wish you the best of luck on your ocarina journey.